next. So, I would buy a new car, and then when that didn't do it, I'd go out and buy clothes or take a trip. And then I went through hobbies. I did triathlons, I did running, I took up wine as a hobby. On and on the list goes.
Dr. Greg Veeman was convinced he had everything he needed to find happiness. The successful career, the lifestyle, but it never seemed to be enough.
It was a combination of you're sad, you're empty, and at the same time you're kind of angry and frustrated because you're thinking, well, why? What's wrong with me? Why aren't I fulfilled? Why don't I feel like I have achieved what I worked my whole life for? And so you're embarrassed. You're not going to tell anyone, so you keep it inside. And then what you end up doing is taking it out on other people.
He also had all the answers. His wife Ruth explains.
He was good, but he had a short fuse. He was arrogant. He was always right. He's the type of person, he's his own person. He's the boss. He always did well his whole life. He was always number one at everything.
Greg was quick to take issue with others, including his Christian neighbors, who Greg thought were giving his family the cold shoulder.
I'm going to get a Bible, and I'm going to prove to them that they're not practicing what they preach.
Greg started reading the Bible and was shocked by what he learned.
I realized that Jesus was claiming to be God in the flesh, the God-man on earth. And I never heard that before. So that quickly got my attention because I realized if it did happen, it was the most important event in human history. And if it didn't happen, then it was just a religious fairy tale that someone made up. So I quickly forgot about the neighbors and decided, hey, I need to find out if this really happened. I really got interested when I heard Luke's prologue where he says, that he checked everything out because he's a doctor, and doctors would normally disprove miracles, not authenticate them.
While Greg's curiosity was academic, Ruth had been on her own search for truth and accepted Christ as her Savior. She knew her husband needed more than a subject to study.
I was worried about his salvation. I would tell my friends in the Bible study, I'm worried about Greg. He's never going to accept the Lord. When I told Greg, there's a place called hell and it's real. And, if you don't believe, you might go there. And I was praying for him. I really was. It got to a point where I was just like, I give up. I was like, really? I'm like, God, you got to do something.
Greg spent weeks studying and researching. He realized Christianity hinged on one event, the resurrection.
I started looking for every possible explanation that would say it didn't happen. Did Jesus, maybe he didn't die? Well, that wasn't true. Even in the Journal of the American Medical Association, doctors had concluded that he definitely died. Maybe the apostles stole the body. Maybe they were seeing hallucinations, all these different theories, but the problem was none of them were credible, none of them made sense. The only explanation from the historical facts, the way it was set up with the Roman guards and everything, was that the tomb was empty and he actually rose. The real thing that got me was the Apostle Paul, because here's a guy, he's Jewish, he's killing